feel like he's not gone. I knew a different X than like the people. I knew him my whole life.
Right. So
I really knew him before he turned to the big iconic star, and he always kind of stayed like, as far as being around, he would come after he made, and before he made it, you would see him, you'd see too much of him. But after he got right, you wouldn't see him that much, so it's almost like surreal.
You have to experiment to know what it's about, you know?
So you're saying your music, in a sense, some of it's a warning?
Yes. Yes.
Tell me, I think people are curious, how a guy, you sold how many records?
28 million.
And made millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
How do you end up in here?
I think everyone who's watching knows how I ended up in here.
Well, the industry is full of homo, hate niggas. It's like they got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their and, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive. It's like there's too much of that going on. Right. You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my music.
The objective is to keep you blind. So along with the handcuffs on your arms, they got shackles on your mind.
What you just heard wasn't random industry drama. That was systematic exposure of a predry network that destroyed countless careers. But here's what's going to blow your mind. Mase wasn't just another victim of Diddy's exploitation. He was a witness to something so disturbing that it's taken him 25 years to finally speak out about what he saw happen to his label mate Jadakiss. We're talking about systematic exploitation disguised as mentorship, forced participation in what federal prosecutors are now calling freak-offs. A young artist from the LOX who was literally never the same after being coerced into compromising situations that were recorded and used as blackmail. And Mase allegedly saw it all happen. For years, Mase has been dropping hints about why he really left Bad Boy Records. It wasn't just about money or publishing rights, it was about witnessing what Diddy forced Jadakiss to do behind closed doors. And now, with Diddy facing federal charges for the exact same crimes, Mase is finally ready to reveal the truth about how his friend and fellow artist was systematically broken down and controlled. This is the story of how hip-hop's biggest empire was built on the systematic mistreatment of young artists like Jadakiss, and why some secrets are worth risking everything to finally expose. Mase's journey with Diddy started like a dream, but quickly turned into a nightmare that would haunt him for decades. When Mase signed to Bad Boy Records in the mid-90s, he thought he was getting his ticket to the top. Instead, he was walking into a system designed to trap young artists through financial manipulation and personal exploitation. What happened to Mase wasn't just bad business. It was the blueprint for how Diddy would later destroy Jadakiss. The first red flag should have been the publishing deal. Diddy gave Mase just $20,000 for publishing rights that would eventually be worth millions. But that wasn't just a bad contract, it was leverage. When you own someone's publishing, you control their entire career, their legacy, their ability to ever break free. When Mase tried to buy back those rights years later, offering $2 million in cash, Diddy's refusal revealed the real purpose of that deal.
Mase owes me $3 million. That's facts, I got the receipt.
Second album, you gave money to do second album, never delivered.
Did the album, never delivered, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not gonna go back and forth with Mase, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going back and forth with nobody. I'm just gonna, if I'm here, I'm gonna speak up for myself. I'm gonna speak up for myself now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to have you think something that I hate. I hate a thief.
Diddy flips the script completely. Instead of acknowledging that he owes Mase millions in fair compensation, he claims Mase owes him $3 million. This is classic pred behavior, making the victim feel like they're the problem. When he says he hates thieves and will defend himself, he's really saying he hates when his victims try to escape his system. But the financial control was just the surface level problem. The real trap was much more personal and devastating to Mase's dignity.
Me and Puff was like, I felt like I did more than I got credit for, more than I got paid for.
You felt or did you do that? Because you said felt, like
okay,
feeling.
let's clear that up then.
You saying you feeling that?
No, we're gonna keep it with, because I'm trying to be nice. I never got paid what I was worth, and I never got the respect I was worth. So the disdain that I got for Puff is more like, you trying to keep me here? I'm not here. All my peers is up here. All my peers are bosses. when it's time, just like somebody raised somebody up, you know they did work with you, they go from your little man to maybe A&R to something else. He just kept trying to keep me right here, like he didn't want me to grow at anything. And to anybody, is that gonna bother you?
Yeah.
Especially
Absolutely.
if I'm producing the work. Yeah. Puff would go out and party, and I would be in the studio writing the records, and then I just come back and say, he'll say this is his part or that is his part, but I was the person there creating it all.
Right.
And then, I mean, from the lyrical standpoint,
Yeah.
where somebody did a beats, and even More Money, More Problems, I came up with that. I came up with the beat too. And I said, Stevie, we need to do this beat and do it like this. So just imagine all of these moments that are taken from you, the records, the beats, you ain't getting the money, you ain't getting the publishing, you ain't getting the respect. And I don't think you're like that.
No.
So that became really frustrating.
This isn't just about money. This is about a man who gave everything, including allegedly his dignity, to someone who used him and then discarded him. The word on the street has always been that Diddy and Mase's relationship crossed professional boundaries, and that intimate betrayal explains why Mase's frustration runs so much deeper than any business dispute. When Mase talks about not getting his worth, he's talking about promises made in private, respect that was supposed to come with compliance, protection that never materialized. By 2009, Mase had reached his breaking point. After years of being trapped in Diddy's system, after watching what happened to other artists like Jadakiss, after being denied his fair share while Diddy built an empire on his talent, Mase decided to make the most desperate move of his career. He was going to confront Diddy publicly on live radio with legal documents that he believed would finally set him free. Picture this, you're listening to V103 in Atlanta, and Diddy is doing a routine interview about his latest projects. Suddenly, an uninvited guest storms into the studio. It's Mase, and he's not there for pleasantries. He's carrying papers, he's got a pen ready, and he's about to put Diddy in the most uncomfortable position of his life, live on air, in front of thousands of listeners.
I'm trying to get my paperwork signed.
He's trying to get his freedom. And I ain't mad at him. So go in there and bum rush Puff on air.
Mase didn't just show up to that radio station. He orchestrated a public intervention, forcing Diddy to sign documents on live radio because he knew it was the only way to get any kind of response. Even when Diddy signed those papers on live radio, even when he publicly announced that Mase had his freedom, it was all theater. Those documents didn't actually free Mase from his bad boy contract. They only allowed him to appear as a featured artist on other people's songs. Bad Boy Records retained the publishing rights to all of Mase's music, which meant Diddy still controlled his entire catalog, his legacy, and his financial future. Even when cornered publicly, even when forced to make concessions on live radio, he still found a way to maintain control. And if Diddy was willing to humiliate Mase like this, someone who had helped build Bad Boy Records, imagine what he was willing to do to artists like Jadakiss, who had even less leverage and fewer options for escape. After Diddy's Grammy speech about black excellence and supporting black artists, Mase couldn't stomach the hypocrisy anymore. Here was Diddy on national television, preaching about uplifting the community while simultaneously holding Mase's publishing rights hostage for over 2 decades. Mase's response wasn't just about getting his money back. It was about exposing the contradiction between Diddy's public image and his private exploitation. When Mase offered $2 million cash for publishing rights he originally sold for $20,000, Diddy's refusal revealed this was never about business. It was about control, leverage, and keeping his victims trapped in his system.
There has been negative propaganda put out about me that's not true, and has really tried to stain my legacy.
While Mase was dealing with financial manipulation and personal exploitation, something far more sinister was happening to his label mates in the LOX. DMX, who had no reason to lie and everything to lose by speaking out, witnessed what Diddy was doing to young artists like Jadakiss, and what he revealed about Diddy's treatment of the LOX validates everything Mase has been hinting at for years. DMX wasn't just another industry insider spreading rumors. He was a street legend who had built his reputation on authenticity and truth-telling. When someone like DMX decides to break his silence about systematic mistreatment, you listen, because he understood that speaking out against powerful figures like Diddy could destroy his career. But he also understood that some truths are too important to keep hidden.
I only met him once.
How was it about that?
Well, you know, Locks got signed before I did. Even though I bought the Locks to our riders, you know, they got signed. They were a safer group. You know, Pop signed them. And it was a blessing and a curse because they were sure they were happy about getting signed first, and they were on the Benjamins and but then he made them jiggy and put them in suits and made them write lyrics for him and took all their publishing and them. Like, damn. I'm glad.
DMX just confirmed what many people suspected but were afraid to say out loud. Diddy didn't just steal the LOX's publishing rights, he essayed them. When DMX specifically mentions that Diddy put them in suits and essayed the LOX, he's describing the systematic transformation and exploitation that Jadakiss endured. But the mistreatment was just the beginning of the LOX's nightmare. What came next was a decade-long battle that proves how Diddy's system was designed to trap victims permanently.
They was here yesterday and they said they didn't get no money.
They didn't say they didn't get no money.
The LOX.
They said they felt that at this point in their career that it doesn't make sense. They feel like you get more money
so
than them.
So I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna tell you
from
what
their
I got.
work.
I'm gonna tell you what I got. Let's ask you. Let's remove me and the LOX. Me and you in a business deal. I meet you when you coming up. You want me to invest in you. You know what I'm saying? You a new company. I invested in D Block. You know what I'm saying? I'm investing in you. You a new company. At the end of the day, here come the splits. Out of the money, you get over $1.5 million. And I get 400 or under $400,000. That's it, New York. They got over $1.5 million. And I got
this was back then?
No, this is everything to date. They got 1.5 million.
Your whole career?
They got for the albums they put out. These remember, they the streets. They not making no #1 top 10 pop records. They the streets. So they sitting here crying like I got more money. That's the money that I got. I'm divulging. I don't even speak my information on the street. I will never, ever do this again.
Honestly, just because I let you get some of that specifics in. We didn't really get into too much of the specifics yesterday. I guess just the point that they came up here was, you know, they might be misinformed. I don't know, yes or no, about how much exactly it is. But either way, they have been, they say, trying to get out of this publishing deal for 10 years.
Check this. Okay. If you check this out, if you yourself, you invest in AT&T.
Right.
Okay?
No, I get it.
No, you invest in AT&T. AT&T, they didn't even start making phones. Then AT&T, whatever years later, say that they want your shares back. But there's no reason. They just say that they just want their shares back. Or even better, you buy a house. You go and you buy a house on set in Harlem. You go buy the house. And
I mean, I get it. You're investing, you want to be.
Yeah, but I'm saying it doesn't. So they've been calling, knock on the door saying they want their house back. They had sold their house. They didn't even sell a house. To be honest, they came up here and they're portraying in New York that they sold a house. I don't own their house. Puff does not own 50%. Puff owns 20%. I don't never divulge my information or my business, but it's just the fact that this is just so crazy. And I'm just, it's not even worth it. This is not even worth it to me.
Right.
So out of the house that I bought, I don't even own the house. I just invested in the ground floor. So now you say, just give me the ground floor back just because. I could see if it was what they were saying. They came up here and cried to New York. They cried broke. They used the word slavery. Over $1.5 million in slavery, and I get 400. That's slavery. There's people that are really feeling like they working in the streets. Streets keep it real. There's people that are struggling, and they up here crying. Stop whining.
The Law X fought for 10 years, a full decade, to escape their bad boy contract. When artists spend 10 years and millions in legal fees trying to get out of a deal, it's not about creative differences or money disputes. It's about survival. Diddy turned the entire industry against them when they went public, showing how the system protects handlers while punishing victims who dare to speak out. The fact that it took Rough Riders paying $2 million plus royalties to finally buy the likes out of their contract shows exactly how valuable their silence was to Diddy. This wasn't just business. This was systematic entrapment designed to ensure that what happened to Jadakiss in those private moments would never see the light of day. Before we dive deeper into what Diddy allegedly did to Jadakiss, we need to establish a crucial timeline, because understanding who Jadakiss was before his bad boy experience is the only way to comprehend the devastating transformation that soon followed. And the person who can testify to Jadakiss's original character better than anyone is DMX, who knew him long before fame, money, or industry corruption entered the picture. X and Jada used to run together in the streets and had a place of their own right in the streets. Their relationship went back to the streets, back to when Jadakiss was just another young artist trying to make it, before he ever stepped foot in Diddy's office or signed any contracts.
X was already a star in Yonkers in our eyes, maybe 7 to 10 years before he ever dropped the album. He'd been rocking and selling tapes in the hood and doing show. X did a show, a live, well, it was in one of the high schools or, a school gymnasium in Yonkers with leaders of the new school.
Wow.
When they had just another case of, he held his own.
Wow.
X got up there with unreleased, never heard material only in Yonkers and killed it.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so once he got with Rough Riders and we started getting nicer and rhyming, we was the first, it wasn't even like a formal meeting. He came to the block, yo, dog, I got these dudes. Y'all gonna be with me, dog. We gonna be on Rough Riders. And then he bought them, and then that was it.
What happened to Jadakiss wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a massive industry conspiracy that DMX spent years trying to expose. The same system that trapped and exploited Jadakiss was operating throughout the entire hip-hop industry, with powerful figures like Jay-Z and Diddy working together to maintain control over young artists.
I think it's a conspiracy against me, because in the absence of the truth, will prevail. So as long as nobody out there spitting real, you can come up with anything and it'll sell, you know what I'm saying? But once you put the truth out there, it's like people have something to compare everything else to. So, you got a lot of people who are not really happy about the fact that, my album is about to drop. They're not really happy about, Lord, give me a sign. And, we in here and, things of that nature. But you know what? If you want to rap or sing or whatever, don't become a part of the game. You know what? Listen to a song I called The Industry. And that pretty much explains, what the industry. Man, it's not the same. The industry, it's not a game. The industry, real dying to get in the industry just to find they don't fit in. The industry ain't what it used to be. The industry's trying to control the way you MC. They want you to dress like this and talk like that, but I'm going to dress like this and talk with the gap. The industry got y'all word meaning nothing. The industry heard because he's bluffing. The industry, money, hate, but I dare you to try to take a off my plate. The industry like, wait, but in the streets we like, get him. 17 up in that thing, catch him sleeping, hit him. My pop web's with him. The coroner's coming to get him. Industry.
DMX revealed how the entire system works. They deliberately deceive young artists into signing contracts that give them complete control over their lives while paying them pennies. This is exactly what happened to Jadakiss when he signed with Bad Boy Records.
Finish the album, shoot the video. What happened? Go on vacation and, we don't know. What you mean you don't know? How do you listen to a whole album, pick a single, shoot a video, then don't know? Okay, I see what's really good. You're trying to eliminate the competition. Because at first you retire, then get me off the label, now you're back rapping again. Okay.
Jay-Z's betrayal of DMX follows the exact same pattern as Diddy's treatment of the LOX. Once the album was finished, the silence began, proving this was coordinated, industry-wide exploitation.
The things that the devil does, it's not so much a person, even though he acts through people. You can't call one person the devil.
Joe Arpaio?
You can't call any one person the devil. You can't do that because no one person has enough power to be the devil. And it's through all these hardships that I realized that, this is God's country because I met the devil here. Because if I hadn't met the devil here, I wouldn't realize I was strong enough to overcome the obstacles that the devil would place in my path. And it's by overcoming these obstacles that I realized that this is God's country. Because He helped me get over these obstacles.
DMX confirmed that Diddy and Jay-Z were working together to keep their exploitation network operational, which explains why Jadakiss couldn't escape, even when he tried.
First meeting I ever had, I was like, we gotta sign DMX, and they laughed at me. I remember when I left the office, Tina Davis said, she knew what I wanted to sign DMX. She said, DMX don't sell, your is fired. Jay and Dame did not believe in DMX. Jay would be like, you think he's better than me? And I'd be like, he's nice just like you. I said, if you look in the hood, there's less of like you and more like him. Yeah, but don't want to live that. He's depressing, Gotti. And I said, I don't give a. So Jay used to watch me grind with X, and he was off with the Hitman. And then something strange happened when I made Get At Me Dog. If you remember at the beginning of the video, it's the heartbeats. Doom, doom. DMX, doom, doom. Live at the tunnel. Y'all don't even remember the tunnel. Funk Massive was doom, doom. And then I put that sound bite. Let's take it back to the streets, mother.
Irv Gotti's claims that both Jay-Z and Diddy were intimidated by authentic artists, which is why they systematically destroyed anyone who threatened their artificial empire. DMX's imprisonment wasn't random. It was strategic elimination of someone who knew too much and couldn't be controlled, and in hindsight, cut off Jadakiss's support system. But even behind bars, DMX understood his mission was bigger than his own freedom. He was there to find other victims of the same systematic mistreatment that destroyed artists like Jadakiss.
You have to experiment to know what it's about, you know?
So you're saying your music, in a sense, some of it's a warning?
Yes. Yes.
Tell me, I think people are curious, how a guy, you've sold how many records?
28 million.
And made millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah.
How do you end up in here?
I think everyone who's watching knows how I ended up in here.
I don't know if they do.
I'm pretty sure they do. Yeah, anytime you get it, I'm pretty sure they do. You know, there's how do I end up in here? You know what? I'm gonna look at it in a positive light and say that I came here to meet somebody. Don't know who it was, but I'll know when I see him, and I came here to give him a message. And that message is Jesus loves him. You know what I'm saying? I came here to give him the word. That's why I'm here. Regardless of what it looks like, you know, regardless of what people think, that's why I'm here. I came here to meet somebody and tell them about the glory of God. Now we get down, man. No, they don't with me. Talk all that they want to. I'm good. I'm good. Ain't even get within 2 feet with a knife. You can't be serious. Even try to. Out of here, man. No, y'all when it's bigger than rap. Bigger than rap. And you know who the I'm talking to. You only alive because of me. You only alive because of me. You yeah, remember Chicago. That's all I'm gonna say, Lo. Remember Chicago. You only alive because of me. You out of here.
Who are you talking about, dog?
He know what I'm talking about.
Let's go.
What I'm talking about. He knows who the I'm talking about. Chicago. Same flight. You know the I'm talking about. You only alive because of me. You seen them 10 trucks parked in front of the airport? That wasn't for you. That was for me. You'd have got found in the back of one of them. I'll let you live.
The industry feared DMX because his authentic spiritual power couldn't be manufactured, bought, or controlled. His genuine connection with fans exposed their artificial empire built on exploitation and compromise. DMX knew he was superior to both Jay-Z and Diddy, and that authenticity made him the greatest threat to their systematic control over artists like Jadakiss. After years of speaking in code, after watching Diddy destroy countless careers, after witnessing what happened to his friend Jadakiss, Mase finally understood that silence wasn't protection, it was complicity. The federal charges against Diddy for systematic freak-offs have validated everything Mase has been hinting at for decades, and now he's ready to reveal the truth about what Diddy forced Jadakiss to endure.
The industry is full of a bunch of sucking, riding, bending over the desk straight up like that. Whoever don't like it, bring it. Bring it. I don't give a bring it. Bring it.
Well, the industry is full of homo, hate. I mean, it's like they got this new breed of rapper that's paying DJs to play their And, you know what I'm saying? They sucking the record label executive, and it's like there's too much of that going on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Let me be me. Let me be the artist that I am and just play my music. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Now they want you all up under this, you know, sitting at the going to dinner with them and like that, and you know all that favor for a favor shit. I don't get down like that. Look, I give you the music, you give my money. That's it. A lot of the love I had for wanting to be a part of the industry is not there anymore. I don't even associate myself with the industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an industry artist. I'm an artist in the industry. You know?
And you've always stood alone, and you know, bloodline.
I don't hang with you're not gonna see me at every party, every industry party, all the clubs. I go somewhere quiet, man, shoot pool with me and my mans and them. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of shit. That's the type of shit I do. You know what I'm saying? My remote control cars, jump on the four-wheelers. You know what I mean? I ain't with all that in the club, throwing it up and all that. I ain't got time for that man. And because then you find yourself doing the same every day. What are you, alcoholic? You know what I mean? Come on, man. Give it a break, man. Live a little. You know what I mean? I play with my kids, man. I play with my toys, I play with my dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? We go somewhere, shoot pool. We do what the we do. You know what I mean? That's why you see us in places that you don't normally see. You're like, damn, why you here? Well, I'm here because why are you here, You here playing video games. Right then. You know what I mean? These had the nerve to tell me one time, I said, yo, why I can't have two videos playing at the same time? Oh, because we don't want your videos to compete with each other. But then I turn on the TV, I ain't gonna say no artist names, but they got 3 videos back to back.
Exactly.
I'm like, you feeding me and you sucking these so crazy, man. What's wrong with yo? I had to punch one in the face up there, man. After that, I was like, I'm not going to the office no more.
Is that how it went down?
Yeah. Cause I don't, I'm a grown man, and I ain't got time to be playing no kid games, man. So once I see I'm not dealing with a man and he disrespects me, I'm breaking his jaw.
DMX exposed how exploitation became the currency for career opportunities in an industry where everyone was on Diddy's payroll and no one had the courage to speak out. This systematic mistreatment wasn't random. It was calculated, recorded, and used as leverage to maintain control over artists like Jadakiss for decades. The federal indictment reveals that Diddy's freak-offs were elaborate performances that he arranged, directed, and were often electronically recorded. These gatherings occurred regularly, sometimes lasted multiple days, and involved distributing controlled substances to keep victims obedient and compliant. Authorities seized over 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant from Diddy's homes, the same supplies used in these systematic mistreatment sessions. What makes this revelation so devastating is understanding that Jadakiss was forced to participate in these recorded encounters, which were then used as blackmail to ensure his continued silence and compliance. This explains why Jadakiss was never the same after his bad boy experience. He wasn't just trapped by contracts, but by compromising material that could destroy his reputation if it ever surfaced. When Mase finally found the courage to speak out about what he witnessed, he wasn't just seeking justice for his friend, he was exposing an entire network of exploitation that operated under the guise of mentorship and opportunity.
Yo, I did this talking about he want receipts. Let's start with your mother. Your mother got the receipts. Everything is in your mother's name. That's the one who got the receipts. You need more proof? Biggie ain't here, so Big can't give you no receipts. He dead. Craig Mack can't give you receipts. He dead. What are you talking about? Who else? Black Rob can't give you receipts. He dead. And everybody else you made sign paperwork so they can't talk about what I'm talking about. I'm the only one with the guts. You're not signing because I ain't need the money. All money ain't good money. Remember that. Remember that. Remember that. You know who to play with.
Mase's decision to finally speak out, despite decades of potential retaliation, represents a turning point in how the industry handles these dark secrets. What happened to Jadakiss represents the darkest side of an industry that promises dreams, but delivers nightmares to vulnerable young artists. The transformation that DMX witnessed, the decade-long legal battle the LOX fought to escape their contracts, and Mase's years of speaking in code all point to the same devastating truth. Systematic exploitation disguised as business relationships. Mase's courage to finally expose what Diddy forced Jadakiss to endure has broken decades of silence. While Jadakiss may never be the same, his story, told through Mase's testimony, ensures future artists won't suffer the same systematic mistreatment. Sometimes the most important victories come from speaking the truth to protect others. If you like this video, hit that subscribe button so that you never miss out on any new videos. And until then, fam, keep it real.